basic foundation on the ground. Now I can show you how that applies while we're on our horse, and we'll do it at a standstill, and our horse should be able to just stand here naturally and calm because I'm not giving him any energy or any indication to do anything. But once we get on, we'll want to hang out here for just a couple seconds and then flex his head, just like we did on the ground, without him moving. Just a little flex on his head there on each side, real nice and light. I see a lot of people flexing their horse's head and dropping them, but it takes them, a good 5 minutes to do it, and they think that's what it feels like. It should feel like just ounces in your hand, just as light as can be. And that's how you'd give your aids if you're riding. Just as light as light. See if we can get him to drop his head a little bit, taking the slack out of both reins. Just letting him stretch that neck down a little bit like that. Real nice and light. Raise those reins up a little bit, give a little pressure up here. And then we could take the slack out of both reins and lean back just a hair in the seat until he yields a little bit backwards, just a little bit like that. And come forward a little bit. So those are your kind of your basic things that we were doing on the ground. We were flexing them. So now go ahead and move the hind quarter over a little bit, and you want to just take that slack out. You don't need to have your horse's head come all the way around to move his hind quarter. You just want him to come over about 45 degrees a little bit and pick up his eye a little bit, and then turn your body language over, focusing towards his hip. And all you want to do is turn your toe out or your heel in just a little bit until he yields just a little bit, and then you just release it all. Just a little bit right there, and have him yield just a little bit like that with his hind quarter. And then you do the other side. Flex him just a little bit. Turn your heel out, or your toe out and your heel in just a hair. Look back at his hip, and as he yields just a little bit like that, you can have him move that hind quarter. And he's doing really good. This horse has come a long ways. He was abused, and his tongue was almost cut in half, and he was one of those horses you'd see for sale, experienced rider only, because you'd always have to hold him back because he would bolt every chance he got. And like I said, his tongue was almost cut in half, and I've changed his attitude around a lot, and he's taught me everything. So we want to be able to push the forehand over just a little bit as we did on the ground. I put a little bit of pressure here, and then with my leg I put pressure here with my hand, and then my foot here to push the forehand over, and I'll do the same thing with the reins and my foot, and look up and focus a little bit and push that forehand over just a little bit like that. And then we'll come back on the other side and move that forehand over just a little bit. And these are some things you want to get down on the ground first, and then at a standstill. Then you can start walking your horse around a little bit, and we can see how that kind of falls into place, the building blocks. So after you can establish that while you're sitting on him, calm, you're breathing calmly, you're not tensing, you're not locking your jaw, you're relaxed with your whole body, and you're not pulling. Just a little bit of tension like that. See how he just gave right there with his face, just a little bit. I barely even lifted up those reins, and I barely indicated in my mind to go forward or to go backwards. Back in my mind or forward in my mind, and let him kind of live out the movie that's in my mind. I have a projector going in my mind, and he picks that up. And if he doesn't, then I can help him. So if I wanted to turn again like to the right with my forehand and he didn't, I'll give him a little bit of body language and look that way. If he didn't, then I would go ahead and indicate a little bit with my rein to help him. But as soon as he did, I would go relax again, because you don't want to pull him into that turn. So that would be at a standstill, and then you can move your horse around at a walk, get him walking a little bit, getting him nice and soft. Then you could flex him to a stop. I'll flex him towards you to a stop, and have him flex real nice until he stops, and he hangs out calm. You gotta wait. You gotta hold. I'll bring him back around here a little bit. Hold him just a little bit until he flexes lightly, until he's not fidgeting. Then you can release him. Then you can go the other way. Reach down a little bit and flex him until he comes to a stop. That's called a one-rein stop, and you can use that in an emergency. But what happens if you don't practice it from the ground, then at a standstill, and then a walk, then when you go into when you really do need it, your horse isn't programmed at all to be light and to give to this pressure. So it's really not going to do anybody any good, or the horse when you go to try to do it, if it's not prepared. Have your horse walk up just a little bit. See if you can count his steps back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Forward. 1, 2. 1, 2. Back. 1, 2, 3. Know where our horse's feet are. Using our body energy. We don't want to squeeze him and hold him. We want to go right with him. Our energy tells him how much we want. No more, no less. It's exactly what we want. Then you can come up to your trot a little bit. And say your horse was always trotting, you just wanted to walk. You can use your one rein by flexing him and taking him out of gear at his hip and have him come down to a walk like that, or have him come down to the stop if that's what you needed to do. Have him come down out of that trot all the way to the stop. Now get him to come to a trot this way. You can use your inhale, exhale a little bit, use your body language, and then flex him and put your leg on him. Have him drop down. For safety reasons. After you get good at that, you just barely have to indicate that rein on that side, and he'll just come right down to the walk like that. You don't have to bring him all the way down if you don't want to. Then, once you get your trot going nicely, you can bring him up into his canter. You can inhale, exhale, and then flex him a little bit if he doesn't come down. And it's always a good idea to just go ahead and go through the motion to flex, to come down. Then he really knows you mean business, so he doesn't start taking advantage of you. It's programmed in you and him there when you need it. Inhale, exhale. Take the slack out a little bit, and he comes right down. I'll come ahead and turn him around here. And so you want your horse to be calm like that on the ground, and then use those basic foundation, the building blocks as you ride to build, and then you can go on to higher things with your horse. And so if you are interested in having a nice calm horse like this so you can be safe and go on trail rides, or even just in the arena where he's not moving all over the place and you're not constantly having to hold him back and scared he's going to run away